This is a Troy-Bilt Pressure Washer, 2600 psi, the GCV 160. It's got a Honda engine. Unfortunately, I took possession of this, tried to use it, and the pump is leaking. So let me show you what's happening. So I'm going to open up the water. You can see it's leaking out. There's not a crack, there's a hole in that bottom part of the pump. Yeah, this right here, it's all corroded, and there's a hole here and a hole here, and the water just coming everywhere. So our choice is to replace this bottom or replace the whole pump. And I think we're going for the whole pump. The engine works. It hasn't been used in a long time. We'll pump it up one time real quickly and watch it work. Turn that on and we'll shut it off. So the Honda engine works. It's the pump that's messed up. So we're going to empty the gas out of this. Try to put it up there on the table on this cardboard, turn it sideways, take pictures of that pump, make sure we can get a replacement, take that pump off, and then order something online. Everything else seems to be in really good shape on this. I mean, it hasn't been used much. A little rusting. The handle used to be put over here and it came down and rusted a bit, but it's in really good shape. So let's see if we can DIY fix it. What'd you say? Corroded?
There's some corrosion products there just are keeping binding it so it won't come off.
Open this, please. There we go. Yep. Okay.
O-ring.
Yeah, there's an O-ring right here. Good. Looks okay. It's just been in there for a while. Okay, so now we're gonna figure out how to empty the gas, right? What do you think we should do?
Or in that bucket.
So we're gonna try to get this over here without siphoning it. Turn this over here.
So it's ready to come out right now.
You can let it on the bench. Okay, get the gas out. Have a little dripping still in the carburetor. Got some coming out here. Let's take this down on the ground. Okay. So is that just gas coming out of the carburetor that's left in the line?
Yeah.
Okay. So
The filter's wet now.
yeah, a little bit. Not too bad actually.
Right on the side.
Okay, it's not too heavy actually. I'm gonna lean it over this way.
Yeah.
Okay, you can see the corrosion in the back of the pump, and then you think it's going all the way up, right? You can look here, you can see the whole thing is just cracked, busted right open. I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me back up. I'll take a picture of it. So we may have compromised this seal also in it. Here's our tools. At the Allen wrenches, a couple crescent wrench pliers, and then a 125-year-old little ball peen hammer. And where's the oil drain?
Looks like that.
Oh, is that the pump? That's pump oil, right? Or is that? Yeah, and then there's engine oil somewhere else. I thought online it said you have this hole here because sometimes the engine oil drain is right here, but we don't have that in our engine. So it must be somewhere else. We'll figure it out. I said we have 3 Allen wrenches, and on the back side, see there's a little screw head, bolt head we have to hold on to. Okay, we've got 2 of these off. You got an Allen wrench and a nut, so I'm going to take the last one off and then screw that Allen wrench from the bottom with your hand, and that motor is either going to stick or drop down. Up, drop down. So now we're not binding on the shaft from the engine, which is a good thing. Okay, are the bolts all the same size? They look pretty uniform?
Yep.
Yep, so we don't have to worry about keeping them in order. Okay, and now we're going to put those bolts back up there, right? Because the engine's no longer mounted, right?
Yep.
So we're going to put the Allen wrench bolts and their nuts in there just so it stays on there, doesn't fall off.
Oh my gosh, Peter. Look at the hole there. Look at that.
Yeah, I told you.
Gosh, dang.
Completely broken out.
It completely chipped off there. It cracked.
Bring it over here.
I think your theory is right about freezing.
Bring it here. A little closer. Right here. Yeah, you can see it's just shattered. That's what I thought when I saw that. I thought in the Texas freeze this year, there was water in here and the thing just froze.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
Yep.
Because it's sort of, if you see it looks like over here where you just showed it, it looks like it expanded out.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, so this is RMW 2.2 G24, and when you look online, People's Republic of China, there's number 284908, another number, but there are different variations after that G24 dot whatever. So some of them of these pump replacements are claiming universal, but they don't have this hole here. Now, do we need that hole there, or was the oil on the side, the pump oil? Oh no, the pump oil is right here. So we actually don't need one with that hole, right?
No, not to get to the engine
Because
oil
on
drain.
some of the, when you look online, let me see, some of them, the engine oil drain was in here,
Right.
which we haven't found that yet on here. So we could possibly go without this one as long as these holes are evenly spaced.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think there's some amount of mix and match that's possible. I think some of the manufacturers have reused pumps from China where they're made. And so I actually think the one without that extra hole on it is cheaper. So, but they seem to range from $69 to $100. So this is where the oil goes in, and we determine, like some other piece of equipment you have, this is one of those models where you have to take the oil cap off and turn the whole unit over to drain the oil out and change it. Which means you're going to have to take the gas out first, because the gas is going to come running out of the carburetor and the air intake. So yeah, when you're ready to change the oil, make sure there's no gas. But we looked all over, didn't see a nut that come off to drain it. Not unusual, maybe not as common anymore, I'm not sure. Okay, so we got an engine that runs. Our hose, by the way, had some kinks in it, but it's probably still going to run. You know, it's not just plastic, it's got like some fiberglass or metal on the inside, so it's probably we're going to give it a try when it gets back up and running. Wheels are good, gas is good, all good. We're just going to change out the pump, sorry. What's this right here? Is this for,
Soap? No?
no, the soap comes on the back on this little nipple here.
That's a little breather, I think.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm. It's a little vent. It's a vent.
Okay. And then we'll put pump oil in here. Of course, it could have been out of pump oil. Maybe that's why it cracked.
Yeah.
We peek in there. So, what do we have? Both pumps now? Do they look alike? Identical? They both have screens in the end? Yep. Screen up in here. Okay. We got this one even though we know we didn't need this hole. So we paid what, $99, $100 for this pump?
105.
105. We still think the whole unit's worth a lot more. They did have them down to 69, but everything is a little different in terms of direction of the hose, connections and fittings. So we just decided to stay with the stock part, pay a little more. Yeah. Okay. So first things first. Okay, so we're back to 2 ounces in there. So you see the little key slot here has to line up with the little key slot here, and it has to line up with the holes. And if it doesn't line up, the holes are fixed, but if that doesn't line up, you simply pull this cord just a little bit and so real slowly, and it'll rotate that from the bottom counterclockwise. Okay, so we're probably going to turn this back over, take the screws off, let the motor sit vertical, and install the pump from below. Okay, we verified the connectors come to the back. We're going to lift this up. We're going to get it on the shaft first and lift it into the hole and try to put a bolt on. Okay. There it is. It's lined up with the key. Then we're going to slide it up, make sure the holes are lined up, put a bolt in. Way up through the top. Should be pretty close. Okay. We've got it assembled. Let's see if we can pull this. Let's see what happens.
No gas in it though. Just want to see it just trying to get that like normal.
Yep, feels good.
Yeah.
Let's gas it up, water it up. Let's give it a try. We put a little oil on these old O-rings. And another best practice is when you take that air filter off, the cover, take the air filter out, so when this thing, we got a little drip of gas, but it's not much to worry about. But save your air filters when you're working on it. Take that thing out and put it back in. Check the oil. Make sure we got enough in there. Looks like enough to get it started.
Yeah, it looks all right.
You know, well, for years I made a problem when I checked the oil. I would take it out and then I would screw it back in and unscrew it. You're just supposed to push it in, yeah, right, and not screw it.
Yeah, you just want to be in the hairline.
Get the air out of it. So now we're going to put a tip on the end of this and start it. Let's start it up. See if it starts first pull. We might as well test out the tips. That's a 0 degree spray. Try the yellow. That's 15 degrees spray. Wider. They do make tips that you can adjust by hand. Multi-tip. Okay, we did it. Good job. Okay, we put those little guides. We pushed it up into this handle, into the connection, because that's probably where the biggest 90-degree bends will be.